computer. Okay, all right. It's the Ron Ross Radio Show podcast. Woo-hoo! Welcome into Tuesday, September 19th, 2023, 11, well, just after 11. We're a little late, after 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 on the West Coast.
There you
I'm Ron.
go.
Thank you so
Hi.
much for hanging out with us. And he is John Yaglenski, or
Hello.
just John, if you like, executive producer. And
Johnny.
he's also a host of it. You told me not to call you Johnny, so I don't.
Never Johnny.
No, never Johnny. And he's also the host of his own podcast, which is on intercot.com. It is a Disney Parks fan. You got to go to the website because it's got. If you're a fan of Disney Parks, then that's the place for you. If you're going to plan
Follow
a
us
trip,
on social media.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's everywhere, doing everything. How you doing, John? Everything good?
I am good. I am busier than a one-armed paper hanger, as they say in the South. But,
right.
But other than that,
right.
Things are good. And look,
I forgot.
Look who's checking in. I'm sorry.
It's Jennifer Scott. No. Good morning, Jennifer. She's just texted. You can put a comment too, by the way. Thank you so much for hanging with us. I was going to say, though.
Yes.
ORIOLES. Orioles.
Are they still doing good?
The playoffs.
Clinched
it. Yeah.
Wow.
Big win in Houston last night with a was it a three-run homer, two-run homer from Mullins. However, you can't deny the obvious, which is they won it with a clinch hit at the end, but they also let a lot of other runs score for them to have to come back from. But you know what? I'm not,
They say in sports,
on
Ron,
fire.
A W is a W.
That's right. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And Gunnar Henderson, I just love this guy. It looks like he's going to be Rookie of the Year. This guy is ridiculous. I had no idea that the Orioles had so many left-handed batters. Okay, enough sports talk. I'm in my element because the Ravens have won too, and the Orioles are in the playoffs. Good morning, Sandy. Sandy has just posted up on our on the Facebook page. You can also watch us on YouTube. Please share the podcast, like and subscribe, and share it with your friends and tell them about it. We really do appreciate that, and we get a lot of great feedback about that too. And I get a lot of great feedback from people afterwards. Excuse me, I got a little weepy eye. After my eyes tear all the time now. I don't know what it is. And so you might be thinking that I'm very emotional about this episode of Jeopardy or whatever, but I'm really not. I just have to wipe my eyes. But it's also good cover for when I am emotional about a movie. Because then I can just wipe my eyes. It's just like, oh no, they're just tearing like they usually do. Anyway, but I digress. Squirrel.
Yes, I like what Stephanie says. Morning at work with bosses lurking, so I may need to jump. No worries, because
that's fine. Yeah,
you can listen to it later, either on the replay of the video or via your favorite podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get in trouble with the boss over little old me. That ain't happening.
No, don't do that. No,
don't do that.
No, don't do that.
I've had that, by the way. I've been at work at Key 103 right there. And and I will look to see, comments or whatever on the podcast, and the boss walks by and over my shoulder, and he'll go, what were you looking at? I'm like, well, that's nothing.
I swear. Nothing.
No, you know what? Years and years ago, I got caught in a lie with my boss.
You did?
And
don't do that.
Never, ever done it again. Well, I'm talking like 25, 30 years ago. Never done it again.
Good.
Never done it since. But man, what a horrible, horrible feeling when you when you fudge the fact, or you just immediately answer in the negative when it should have been the positive or whatever. Just your knee jerk reaction, just to not get in trouble, is that did you blah blah blah? No.
So
I totally did and got busted. And so ever since then, whenever I screw up, I immediately go to the boss. Immediately.
Yeah.
Preemptive strike. They might not even know something has happened. And I will tell them, I did this or I didn't do that. And there's no excuse, or here's the reason why. But just so you know, either in an email or in person, but just so we're on the same page. I do it every single time now, because that was like the worst feeling in the world. I'm like, oh no, he's never going to trust me again. And
well, I can relate. I've got a minor story on that. Squirrel. Yeah, on a first date with my wife. After the date, we had a great time. It was at a Heart concert. That was the blind date. Remember?
Yeah,
you set us up.
Yes, I remember. Yes. Was that a good show? How was the show?
But the Heart's amazing. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. Where was that? Merriweather Post?
I think Merriweather Post. Yeah.
Was that Merriweather? Okay.
Yeah. So after the date, went back to her apartment, as it were, and we were talking, getting along great. And at some point, she said, "How old are you?" And I lied.
Oh, John.
And I said I was older than I did, because I did how old are you? And she said how old she was, and she was older than me by 2 years. And
I knew
in my teenage brain, I wasn't teenage at the time.
He wasn't a teenager at the time, by the way.
But in my teenage brain, all of a sudden I was like, I have to be at least as old as she is. And you know what I did? It came out of my mouth. The words were still hanging in a balloon bubble out there. Lingering in the air. And I said, I don't know why I said that. I'm actually this age. And you know what was going on in the back of my head?
Yeah.
I may have just ruined the relationship that could last the rest of my life.
There goes my 2 sons that I was going to have. There they go.
Yeah, like future was flashing between my, in front of my eyes. No. So I immediately pulled it back. And
what did she say?
Learn from that.
I never heard this story. What did she say?
I mean, how many years later is it?
No. What did she say after you said that? Yeah.
I don't even remember, but I think maybe she appreciated the honesty that and I just said something like, I was a little intimidated. I used to think that it was a big deal.
Appreciated the honesty after you lied in saying that you lied.
I think that I couldn't lie, that I had to come clean right away. So I think that was the point. Like it was a stupid thing. Age used to be a big thing, right?
Well,
when you were in high school.
Right. Well, as you know, we were very tight. And she called me immediately after. Hey, Jason Berry, by the way, great band. Crash the Limo. Go see him if you ever get a chance to. It's a wonderful band. He just said, hi, Ron and John.
Checking in on the YouTubes.
Great musician and an excellent friend. An even better friend. So she called me. She called me immediately after the date. The next day.
Oh.
First thing. And said, "Do you know this SOB lied?" But no, she didn't do that. I didn't.
Seriously,
I called her to see how. I called her to see how it went.
Oh,
and she was very excited.
So
as I recall, we compared notes. Yeah. So it's all good. It's all good. But look, it all works out, right?
For those that are missing, Ron introduced me to my wife. Okay, so there's that.
And it was purely by accident. It was totally by accident. Because his wife and I were great platonic friends, and she had tickets to a show. I couldn't go, and so I said, "But there's this overnight guy at the radio station that's single," and then that's it. That was it.
Which she had just come off a really bad blind date, right before that, and was not thrilled at the idea.
Did she? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how the story goes, Ron. I'm sticking to it.
Oh no. And then I set her up on another one. And she went. She didn't have to go.
Nope.
She trusted my judgment. which was
that's always
there's this
questionable
guy.
right there. Don't do that.
I think I even made that gesture. Well, there's this guy. He's the overnight guy. This guy right here. All right.
Anyway, we have a show to do, right?
We do.
Okay.
Is this part of it? No?
I think it might be. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I want to catch you up real quick because I did post that video last week about my heart. I just want to catch up everybody up. I went to so I went to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. Everything's fine. I called 911 on myself, which poor guy, Steve, the salesman. I was in the middle of my show at the radio station, and I'm I'm like, hey,
what did you do?
I can't keep doing this. I don't know. I was scared. I was really scared.
Yeah.
So I walked into Steve and I said, Steve, I'm not feeling good. I'm calling 911. And he's like, you want me to drive you to the hospital? I said, no, I'm calling 911 because if you're driving and something bad happens, you don't know CPR, you're gonna have to pull over. At least that'll be in the hands of, professionals. So, and of course, as soon as the ambulance showed up, all the symptoms went away. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So that's the story. Heart was racing, lightheaded, so on and so forth. I had a cardiologist appointment briefly. Everything's fine. The plumbing is fine. They're going to stick me on a monitor and see. Hello. That's my cardiologist, by the way.
Right. On the phone.
Okay. They're going to stick me on a monitor. They threw out words like tachycardia and arrhythmia, but he doesn't think it's that. I like the first thing my cardiologist said is, how much coffee you drink? And this is exactly what the greatest wife ever said. She's like, I think we're drinking too much coffee because now that I have mornings free, I get up in the morning,
right,
and we go out and sit out on our deck and watch the sun come up. Actually, she's out there an hour before I am. And we drink coffee, and then we sit and we catch up on our socials, and we have conversations, and then we wordle. And then what's after wordle? Connections, and then we frazzle, and then we waffle, and now it's the New York Times mini crossword, which is timed. So we do all of those things. Okay. But the whole time while I'm doing it, I'm drinking coffee. So
So how many cups were you putting back?
I was probably about, I'd say 4 mugs.
Holy shnikes.
4 full mugs.
That's a lot of coffee.
It's a lot of coffee. So I'm now down to 1, and the rest will be decaf. Or actually, Jenny, that's the greatest wife ever. She just bought these the hot apple cider pods for the Keurig.
So is that tea or is it's actual cider?
No. It's the cider. It's the it's like a cider concentrate with spices and just add the hot water.
Tasty.
Game changer.
Is it sugary or do you add the sugar?
It's very sweet.
Okay.
It's very, very sweet. It's almost wassail or wassail, as you taught me years ago. You know that. Did you know that?
No.
You didn't know that?
No.
That'll be in our holiday show. You got to remind me. I'll bring that up in our holiday show with wassail.
Will do.
So anyway, it's the coffee. So I'm gonna get a monitor and check it out. But basically, the plumbing's fine. They've already checked all of that stuff out. So it's just some good. So there you go. There's our heart. So we're moving on. And thank you, by the way, for all the well wishes. And I just passed the 8-year anniversary. Hey, Odney just posted a comment. Says good morning. Good to see you both. Good morning, Odney.
Hello.
Just passed the anniversary of the heart attack and the surgery and all that stuff. And I used to get like really morose and just very introspective and sit around and what have you. And this year I just decided after that whole thing at the hospital, I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just moving forward. I have 8 more years than I thought I was going to have. Right. So I'm just going to keep marching forward, try to take care of myself and eat right. And, it's all diet and exercise. So that's what I'm doing. Correct. Okay. So, I used to work at Sirius XM satellite radio.
Really?
And in addition to doing a morning show on the Pulse, and not a lot of people know this, I was also management behind the scenes. I was the program director of 2 channels. I was program director of 90s on 9 and also Pop 2K. But then after the whole heart thing, they took Pop 2K away from me to relieve some of the. So on 90s on 9, when you're the program director, I even came up with the playlist. I came up with I wrote all of the stuff that you heard in between the songs. I got Downtown Julie Brown hired. I created a show for Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray, and then we brought in Lisa Loeb, who's got a daily show. Lisa, there she is right there, Lisa Loeb. She sent that to me as a little thank you. So I worked with Mark McGrath and over the years daily, because it was a show called Mark McGrath's 120, and it was a theme. All the songs had a theme that he played. There were 8 songs that he introduced in 2 hours. That was the 120. It was 2 hours, 120 minutes. Kind of a little harken back to MTV and in the 90s. But anyway, and then he would have themes, like it would be from all the songs would be from Unplugged. Sometimes you'd have a secret theme and you had to guess what it was. And I was so excited when I came up with the first secret theme, because the last song in it was the song One by YouTube.
Okay.
By YouTube.
They're changing their name.
I'm so old.
Coming with the
by the YouTubers.
By the two.
And the theme was one-word titles. And so the last one, this literally is.
Let's see, yeah, you're clever that way.
Yeah, I was very excited about that. Anyway, so I got to work with Mark McGrath for quite a bit, and then we had texting back and forth and so on. So he was out on tour this summer with Bret Michaels and the Party Gras tour. Bret Michaels of Poison. And then he had another tour that he was with Gin Blossoms, Tonic. We were just talking about Tonic, John.
Yes, we were. If you
they opened with Open Up Your Eyes. So good.
Oh my gosh, that's
so good.
It never gets old.
God. No, it doesn't. Gin Blossoms and Fastball and The Way, and the other one, Out of My Head, Going Out of My Mind. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And Sugar Ray. So they were playing at the Great Frederick Fair in Frederick, Maryland.
Holy shnikes. That's like an amazing lineup right there.
Isn't it, though? And I'm texting.
I mean, seriously, that is like dream lineup for me. That probably was, wow.
I'm telling you, dude.
90s. Yeah.
It was a show. It was a ridiculous show.
Wow.
So I'm texting Mark and I'm like, dude, you're coming to my hometown. Because I always tease him throughout the years that whenever you're on the East Coast, at least in Baltimore or something like that, we're going to take you out and show you how to pick crabs. And we're going to have, or at least have a crab cake. Have a good Maryland crab cake. And so I texted him like, dude, you're coming. So he hooked me up with some passes and we're all backstage. So Jennifer and I are backstage. And also, now, I was already going to go on stage and bring on all the bands with Danny. Danny is part of the half of the morning show on Key 103. And I was there as a representative of Key 103 as well. So we went out and did our thing on stage first. And then we're hanging backstage. And then Mark comes out. He's like, run. It was like big hugs. And it was really cool to hang with him. And then he's like, I'm like, so what, where's your Jameson's? Because he always has Jameson's, and he's an Irish guy and he loves Jameson's Irish whiskey. And he's like, come on back. So we go into the green room and he's like, have you ever done a pickleback? And I went, no, I've never done a pickleback shot. So, and so he pours a pickleback shot. Now, listen, Greatest Wife Ever is not a whiskey person.
Okay.
She's all about Tito's vodka or whatever. That's not whiskey. Doesn't like the smell of it. Doesn't like if there's a flavor of it in it, and it's just like bleh.
Got it.
So there she is with a cup of Jameson's and a cup of pickle juice. And Mark McGrath is teaching us how to do a pickleback shot. She loved it. I drank it. I'm not a fan, but she loved it. And Danny had one, and we were just hanging backstage. It was fun. But my whole point was to say, I've never had a pickleback shot until I was hanging out with Mark McGrath. And I said, dude, you got to come on the podcast. And he says, absolutely. So Mark will be a guest on the podcast in
Nice.
a couple of weeks. We'll work it out with his.
I've seen Sugar Ray more than any other band at Epcot and Walt Disney World.
He is an unbelievable showman. It was a fun show. But he had the rap down in between, just talking to the crowd and got everybody hyped, and a lot of self-deprecating humor about frosted tips. And I mean, he was just and he's
out in the crowd too. Like he's running around and he's like on wireless mic run. He's just a good guy.
All the energy, the energy. And it's a PG show and it's a fun time. And then they do some covers, and they did Backstreet Boys, and our friend Allison was just like losing her mind because Emerson Hart from Tonic came out, and so did the lead singer of Gin Blossoms came out. They all came out to sing Backstreet Boys. I Want It That Way.
Okay.
With Mark McGrath and Sugar Ray, and then Sugar Ray. Mark said afterwards, like, try to get them to come out and sing a Sugar Ray song. No. Backstreet Boys, sure. They all come running. Which was awesome. It was a lot of fun, though. But what I'm saying is, so Mark will be a guest on the show and on the podcast. And also, if you ever have a chance to go see Sugar Ray, do it. Yeah. It's just a good time. I mean, you can't walk out of there without a smile on your face and a bounce in your step, because and Tonic killed it. Fastball was unbelievably amazing. And then Gin Blossoms, you're going, oh, yeah, I know that song. Oh, yeah, I know that song. You know, Until I fall away. Okay. Yeah, sure.
They actually, Gin Blossoms, we saw, what was it? Bare Naked Ladies, Gin Blossoms, and Toad the Wet Sprocket at the North Charleston Coliseum. There will be no opening act.
Here's the thing that's funny. I think it's funny. My observation is, okay, now you've got artists from the 90s, which is now 25 and 30 years ago.
All right. Stop pointing that out.
And then, here's my point. These are now oldies, okay? But you can't call them oldies.
Moldy oldies.
Because it makes people feel
old,
right? So you got these 90s acts, but they're coming out and they're doing all of their hits, and they're still putting out maybe a new album or whatever. I remember talking to Mark once, and I said, "Are you going to put out a new album?" Because if I do, it's going to be for me. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody's going to buy it. They might download. He did one. It was called Music for Cougars, which I thought was a hilarious title, which was out a couple of years ago, years ago. And it was typical, Sugar Ray. It was great. The man knows how to write a song and he knows how to sing it.
Right.
And but a thing I thought was hilarious, and I said this to my wife later, because we're backstage and we watched a lot of the stuff from the side of the stage. Which, by the way, okay, yeah, it's cool to be backstage and it's cool to be on the side of the stage. Mm-hmm. But really, when you're watching a show, it's not great audio.
No,
because all of the speakers are pointing out there. You're getting stage volume off their amps or off the drum or the acoustic coming from the drum. I mean, you'll hear the pop of the snare, but you'll hear it go pop out there. Yeah. And so you're not really hearing like a great bit of the show. Right. So I noticed that when we were side stage at the Billy Joel concert, there was a record rep that said, "Hey, you want to watch from the side of the stage?" We're like, "Yeah, cool." As soon as we were side of the stage, I'm like, "This sucks." The greatest wife ever was like, "This is great." I'm like, no, I can't hear the show. I'm here to hear the concert anyway.
I got a question though. Okay, so why now is it bad to call them oldies? But when I was working in radio, literally I work for an oldies station. Like, why were those people not offended, but suddenly we're offended that they're calling them oldies?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Noodle that one.
That's a very good question. But no, I was told specifically in market meetings and that we are never
not to say oldies,
ever to refer to, well, the word old wasn't even supposed to, you say 30 years ago. Maybe you don't even bring up the years. You just say from back in the day.
Literally, I worked for Oldies 104.
I worked for Oldies 106.9. But no, you can't say that anymore. No, it is from back in the day. In fact, that's what I named the countdown on the 90s 09, the back in the day replay. That's why
Although I
named
like
it.
that because it rhymes.
I was big into that and the alliteration. If it had an alliteration with the what
Right.
was it, the New Year's 90s top 90, top 99 of the 90s on New Year's.
Yeah. So oldies has been canceled, essentially, is what we're saying.
It's been gone for a while, I think.
Right.
I don't think you're going to find the term oldies anywhere. And they don't even call it 50s anymore. They call it mid-century.
Yeah.
Jennifer Scano said I saw Mickey Dolenz last week. Is that oldies? LOL. Jennifer, it is what you want it to be. If you want to say it's oldies,
but Ron's
go
not
ahead.
saying it now.
Oh, no.
We
Vintage. It could be vintage.
Okay. I'm learning.
I was talking to somebody and said, "Oh, it's my old friend," and she was like, "What?" I went, "I'm sorry, long-time friend.
Long time.
We don't use the word." The thing I noticed backstage was there was I saw Emerson Hart of Tonic was standing there.
Okay.
I forget. It might have been Jim Blossoms on stage, and he's standing there. He's got this tray, right? And we're backstage at a rock show, man. And he's got his cucumbers and his dip and his carrot sticks and his dip and his celery sticks, and he was just having a good old time.
That's good.
And he was just like, take care of his body. But I'm just
good
like,
for him.
And I'm just sitting there going, wow, that sure is different than backstages that I've been at before.
Yeah, back in the day.
It was a lot different, but you know, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I can't thank 90s music is not oldies, it's barely retro. That's what Jim says. Dude, it's 25 and 30 years old. So if you think about it in the 80s when you were playing stuff from the 50s and 60s, which
that's a rough point that you just made there, but an appropriate one too.
Sorry. That's what I was doing. I was playing stuff from the 50s and 60s and calling it oldies.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, I understand. No, we don't, you know, it's barely retro. No, it's super. It's super retro now.
We're super sensitive.
That is what I know. I feel bad.
All
right. So I was having a little lunch today, a little brunchy thing, and I did this, and I noticed the greatest wife ever kind of like looks at me like, okay, I don't like cold vegetables straight out of the refrigerator. So I made a salad. I was making a taco salad. So I chopped up and it's got to be iceberg lettuce, by the way. I mean, romaine, unless you're having a salad.
Yeah, not in a taco.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. You know, and then we already had the ground beef and seasoned ground beef and cheese and tomatoes and all that stuff and put that on there. And then,
by the way, happy Taco Tuesday to you.
Taco Tuesday. And then I put it in the microwave.
Why? Why would you do that?
For 15 to 20 seconds to take the chill off.
No.
Take the chill off.
What's that?
To take the chill off of the I don't like it. I don't, you know, weird. I'm sorry. Is it weird?
Yeah, I love the cold lettuce. I want it as cold as possible with the hot meat. I'm the fan of the McBLT or DL. What was it?
The McDLT? The McDLT.
Yeah,
keep
DLT.
The hot side hot and the cool side cool.
I was a fan of that. I thought that was a great concept.
No. I mean, no. I'll warm it up. Same thing with fruit. Cold fruit out of the fridge.
Oh my God, there's nothing better than a cold apple. Right out, like almost frozen.
No, apples are room temperature, man.
Come on, temperature. Support me here.
I put the blueberries, strawberries, or whatever. It's if it's coming out of the no, Stephanie, it's not weird. Stephanie's just weird. That's weird, Ron. It's not weird.
It is weird.
It's not. Excuse me. When you pick blueberries, are they refrigerated?
Doesn't matter.
No, they're out in the hot sun. You pick blueberries, you pick strawberries, you know, it's outside in room temperature. So that's how I like to
outnumbered here so far. It's going down the tubes. Jennifer
not at all.
Says fruit is best cold. So how about beer? Or do you like it hot or cold, Ron?
I will drink beer at any temperature. Let's be honest. But right. I like the super. Oh, you know what though? Thank you, Jim. It is not weird. You are.
I don't think it was the compliment you were looking for.
That's a fair point. But that's a fair point, though. I get that.
I mean, people have strong feelings about this. Apparently,
you know, Sandy says fresh picked fruit is yummy, but if you're eating it later, it should be cold.
Agreed, Sandy.
Why? Why?
I'm
Odney says it's strange. You know, whatever. You know what? More for me. More warm fruit for me. More warm fruit for me.
Stephanie says you're never convincing us. Next subject.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just telling you what I do for me.
Oh my God.
It's okay. All right.
So funny.
Because, there you go. That's thanks. What are you, Mom? Room temperature apples for the win.
There you go. You got one.
I got
one. You got one. You got one.
Also, room temperature water. I don't put this is water, by the way, not coffee.
Water.
I don't put ice. I don't put ice in my water at all.
That is weird too.
I don't, I just don't.
Okay.
For some reason I can't. I don't like the throat freeze or any of that stuff. But all right, so
all right.
Are we behind? We're a little behind.
I don't know.
But I didn't want to bring this one thing up after I brought everything out from the after I ate my nice warm salad. Is that I opened up the fridge and I realized I have 15 condiments on the top shelf on the door.
Okay.
15 on the middle shelf. 8 dressings on the bottom, chocolate syrup and OJ. So I'm just wondering, and there were still some condiments that Sandy, are we ever not behind? Sandy, really.
I like Sandy. Brutal honesty.
Sandy's yours. Good. That's yours. I love Sandy too. Sandy's listening. Yes. That's wonderful. Thank you. And then there are more condiments somewhere in the fridge, randomly placed on shelves or whatever when I'm trying to look for my taco sauce, or I'm trying to look for the crushed red chili peppers for my Italian sub that has to be room temperature. So
oh goodness gracious.
I warm that up too. If it's deli meat.
No. No.
It's not hot. Oh. It's not hot. It's room temperature.
Oh,
no, it's not. It's not bad.
Strange.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's wonderful.
Said they're acceptable.
See you go. Thank you very much. Acceptable. Okay. Appreciate that. So how many condiments do you think you have like running around your fridge right now?
I would say at least 30, probably. Yeah. I would say we're in the range that you're in. I mean, a full door of stuff, and then half of the top shelf over, and then a few on the bottom shelf on the right are.
What's the oldest, do you think? Because I'm hanging on to some. That's a good one. I'm hanging on to some horseradish that we're working with probably 2 years. It's still good.
I don't know. I probably got some I think hot sauces tend to be kind of the thing that stay in there the longest, and only because you put a little dab on there, so they might be in there for years, literal years, decades, because you're bloop, bloop,
now bloop. I never used to
refrigerate
my hot sauces until I finally read the we have mayo, mustard, and ranch, and that's it. That's what Jennifer's.
Wow, that's a minimalist freezer.
That is. Well, that's more room for she's got plenty of room now for her ice cold vegetables and fruits.
More room for sustenance,
chilled, so they can so she freezes her teeth when she bites into an apple.
Oh, here we go.
Ice cold apple. What are you talking about?
Stop.
All right, here we go. Are you ready? Is everybody ready? Because
ready?
It's time.
Oh, is it?
To get a great matter working. Fire off the synapses. Engage the frontal lobe. Form new neural networks. Utilize the cerebrum. As Pooh says, it's time to
think.
What happened? You had
I thought you said to do it. Okay, hold on.
You played it earlier. That's fine.
No.
Think. No. Nah, yours is better. Nah, you're right. Yours is better.
Made a big deal out of it.
Sorry. I did. You're right. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
That's from the last show.
All right.
By the way, I had and Jordan, the daughter of the elder, was the guest and did the podcast with us a couple of weeks ago. And I had somebody pull me aside, Jason actually, and he says, by the way, I totally subscribe to Jordan's calendar.
Yes, and if you missed that 2 weeks ago, go back and listen to it.
I
It's
just,
towards the
I
end
just
of
want
the
to tell
show.
you, I completely agree with Jordan's calendar.
Funny
Okay,
stuff. Oh my
fair
gosh.
enough. Fair enough. I don't get a hi, how are you, Ron, or any of that. I get that. By the way, I totally agree with Jordan and her calendar. Yeah, completely. All right, it's time for the question of the day for Pride, not prize. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go.
All right.
You may be crush grooving on this. This will be part of the 2024 Olympics in Paris, trying to get a younger crowd to tune in. What is it? I don't know if it's going to get a younger crowd, but you may be crush grooving on this. This will be part of the 2024 Olympics in Paris, trying to get a younger crowd to tune in. What is it?
Answer now.
Answer
Good
now. Good luck.
Never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
I'm by the way, Ron doesn't give me the answers always, so I don't know what the answer is.
No, I purposefully did not type it.
I know.
So you wouldn't see what the answer is. But it's so easy, I think. I gave a super duper give it away clue in the question.
Boom, boom. Okay.
All right, here
We've
go.
got some answers. First one came in from Jim. Jim says,
"Oh no, sorry, Jim, that is not correct."
Oh, sorry.
Ooh,
No,
sorry. Canadian apology. Sorry.
Correct. All right, Zach came in with the second answer here. Zach says,
"Oh no, it's not surfing."
Really?
Dude.
I would have guessed that.
It may be an Olympic sport, but that's not the answer I was going for.
Surfing, dude. Crushing it.
Dude,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Catch a wave, dude. I thought that's what the crush kind of thing. We were referencing crush. All right.
Nobody...
All right. Third one coming in.
Oh, that was the name of the turtle.
The turtle. And yeah, exactly.
And Finding Nemo.
Yep.
Okay.
Sandy said
Sandy
surfing.
was surfing. Oh, no.
Celeste said skateboarding.
We're still on the skateboarding. Apparently nobody.
Jennifer said.
Boom. There
dancing?
It is.
Is it?
Break dancing.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to give it to Jennifer.
I'm totally giving it to Jennifer.
No, the quiz show overlord. I am negating that answer because she didn't include the break. Dancing is too wide a category. I'm giving it to.
There you go. Odney's got it.
Odney. Okay. I'm sorry, Jennifer. I love you, but you missed the break on the dancing. Just saying. LQ, Lord Quizmaster, says that is not correct. Woo!
Jennifer, you and me. I got a thing for Jennifer's. I'm just saying.
Sandy says harsh. You and me.
Right? That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, breakdancing. Crush Groovin' was a breakdancing movie from 30 some odd years ago.
That was like
Crush Groovin', body moving. No, am I the only one who knows this song? It's a breakdancing movie. Breakdancing is going to be part of the Olympics, 2024 Olympics in Paris. You know, actually, I've been watching some.
It's a little late, don't you think? I mean, do people still break dance? I mean, I wasn't even aware.
That's the part of the try to get a younger crowd to tune in. You mean in their 30s and 40s, 40s and 50s?
It's really 40s and 50s. I mean,
is there still breakdancing happening? Is it called breakdancing?
Literally like 1987 through 89.
Is it still called breakdancing? That's my question.
We're gonna get the poppers.
Well, pop and lock, isn't that different? So, you know, we were dancing once.
I can't.
The whole family.
Okay.
And one of our favorite songs to like to dance to is one of our traditions is dancing to Shoop from Salt and Pepper. Yeah, okay. I know the subject matter of the song. It's not necessarily family appropriate. For some reason, we love it.
Okay. It's a good song.
And it was actually at the wedding. It was at the wedding a couple of weeks ago that Daughter the Elder came out because it starts, you know, and she just comes out and she's like, okay, here we go. And she's getting ready. She's stretching it out, ready.
That's funny.
Here I go. Here I go. Here I go. Your girls, what's my weakness? She knows all the words.
It's painful,
And
but
once when I was dancing, I did a pop and a lock, and I think daughter the younger called me and says, "Have you been practicing, Dad? Because that's weird."
I want video of that.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Not at all.
Mhm.
What? I was into it. That's actually some of the videos that I like watching now.
Oh, do you?
They have on Instagram these not necessarily pop and lockers, but although I love watching that dancing, but the people that do I don't even know what you would call it. I'll have to look it up. See, now I brought it up and I can't remember what type of dancing it is called, but they're doing an extremely excellent version of a robotic movements and actions. And now the new trend is for people to act like non-playing characters in video games. Have you seen that? The videos of people, they're doing it on purpose. They're like they're doing this, and then they dub in the audio, because that was always my big exactly. That was my big I can't play video games. I'm horrible at them. All right.
Ditto.
And one of my favorite was Batman Arkham Asylum. But my Batman always does. Here, I'm gonna do a visual here. Here's my Batman.
Ron's like dodging and jumping.
But in place. Or walking in place. The wall.
Yeah.
And that's what they do
that's
now.
That's the worst part.
These
walking
videos.
Into a wall.
Into a wall or into a railing, and then the Joker it doesn't have to do anything but just come up behind me with a pea shooter. All right, he's dead. Because I'm just like, as Batman, I'm terrible. But those videos that are running around on Instagram now, people acting like non-playing characters.
I'm going to look them up now.
It's so good. I'll send you a link.
All right. Thank you. Send everyone a link in the show notes or whatever.
Okay, I will.
Chat. Yeah.
Okay. So earlier in the week, greatest wife ever, I was out on the deck like we like to do. And greatest wife ever had gone inside because she is the chairperson for the Middletown Heritage Festival. That's our hometown, and she coordinates the whole thing. She's been doing it for years. And she walks into the kitchen, where she is now converted into her office because she likes to sit in the kitchen, and she's got a window out to the neighborhood, and there's a TV and food if she wants. And so she puts her laptop is on the kitchen table, and it was and I'm just going to go ahead and save the brand, Asus, ASUS, Asus brand computer. We had it, I'm going to say like 10 years, and I just hear this blood curdling scream from inside. I walk in. What? No. It won't come on. I can't get it to come on. Everything that she works on, Middletown Heritage Festival, Christmas Cash for Kids, Christmas Bash for Kids, all of her business, everything is on that computer.
Right.
It's still whirring. You can hear it. Nothing on the display.
Nothing on the display.
Nothing on the display. You can't. There's nothing. I said, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Calm.
Relax.
Calm.
Let's go. Pack it up. Go get dressed. We're going out to eat. No, we're going over to
we're going to ignore this problem.
That's a line from Christmas Story.
Oh, that's right.
After the turkey gets eaten.
Right.
Everybody go upstairs and get dressed. We're going out to anyway. So
that's a good one.
I did that the other day too. She was asking me what I wanted to do for my birthday, and I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do that. She goes, well, we can't do this, we can't do that. And I was like, I guess I just want some Tinker toys.
Right.
Same move.
Yeah.
What is it? White milk's fine.
Yeah. Regular milk is fine.
That's right. Regular milk is fine.
We're out. We're out of that too. I'll take some Sanka or whatever. White milk is fine. Yeah, regular milk is fine.
Oh, that's the
good one.
Okay,
that's good.
So we pack it up. I said we're going to go to Best Buy, and we'll go to the Geek Squad and we'll get it all checked out.
Right.
No problem. No problem, sweetheart. I mean, the fact that we can hear it working, it's not a bad thing. All right. Maybe we just need to get
I'd have comments. Had you called me or texted me, I would have
Well, I hooked it up to my display,
Yeah.
my monitor, to
Yes.
see if maybe it was a burned out screen or whatever.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway. So
yeah, I know exactly what it is, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what the Geek Squad said. So we
Okay.
show up
Well,
there.
that'll be interesting.
We're standing in line,
Okay.
and there's a big sign.
Uh-huh.
You must have an appointment.
Oh, crap.
What?
Since when?
Why? Yeah. Well, since I think COVID.
Oh, okay.
Since lockdown.
Well,
To,
okay. Because of COVID is no longer an excuse.
So you don't have to wait.
But go ahead.
Yeah. So you don't have to wait in line. You now have, and there was a board. There's a video screen display with different people's who they're waiting on next, and we're like, oh my god! And I was
crud.
And I call them to make an appointment.
Right.
Right. While I'm standing in line. What is happening?
I don't know. This is what happens when you work from home. Go ahead.
That was a great, by the way. That was a great. I saw a meme yesterday. I passed it on to a friend of ours who have rather rambunctious dogs. It says, "When you show up, just text. Don't ring the doorbell and bring the dogs into it."
It's so true. As I'm sitting here with his head off. Yeah.
So we're standing in line. So I call Geek Squad. I call the number. And he's like, well, the next available appointment is next week. No, the next day at 4:30, something like that. And I'm like, I can't do next day. This is an emergency. I mean, we have to get it resolved like right now. And he's like, well, I understand how important this is to you. I said, no, you don't. If you're telling me that I have to have an appointment tomorrow, then you are clearly not getting how important
you're
this
not
is.
getting the vibe there. Dude.
You're not getting this. And then finally, I'm like, fine, book it, whatever. And we're still standing in line. And so we walk up. This guy walks up, or the guy comes to the counter, and we walk up to him. And a super nice guy. His name's Connor. I hope I don't get him in trouble. And he sees just blind panic in the greatest wife ever's eyes. I mean, her eyes are tearing. I need this. The Heritage Festival is this Saturday. I've got to have it now. And so he looks at it and he goes, I'm telling you, the motherboard is fried. I've seen it in these. I see it at least 2 or 3 times a day. Motherboard is fried. But
no,
I'll probably be able to pull all the data off of it.
Right.
And then, but where do you want to put the data? I said, well, you can put it on my computer. If you my new laptop that I just bought, used actually with John's tutorial with his advice, which one to get. Right. So, I got a nice little laptop. Or he goes, you can just see and buy a new one.
Right.
So we walk over and we start looking at and she's still frantic. I said, look, they can get it. We just need to figure out what we want to buy. So we wind up getting a new laptop, same brand as mine, but way nicer.
Good call, Ron. Smart man.
And BFN, brand new. Mine was refurbished.
Wow.
Mine was refurbished. Hers is brand, displays 3 times bigger. She's got the number keypad on the side, and it's gorgeous. And he said, "Do you have an appointment?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "All right, don't worry about it. I'll get you through." And so then when we got the laptop, we had to walk it over there, and we sat over at the counter. And this guy who is the appointment enforcer is walking through the lines. Do you have an appointment? Do you have what time's your appointment? What's your name? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And do you have an appointment? Well, I mean, they're just trying to follow the rules. And I had to leave. I had to go to work. And so she had to sit there. And finally, when the guy came over and says, do you have an appointment? Our guy said, oh, that's been passed. It's been a long time. She just needs to get just write up the ticket and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, very nice.
Yep, and showed up the next day, and it was all done. So now she's got a brand new
So they
computer.
transferred the data from the hard drive.
Yeah, he said it didn't take very long at all.
No,
He
no.
said it could have taken an hour. It could have taken 3 days. It depended on how badly damaged the computer was. But nope, and everything was fine. So I threw that out there about your computer stories out on our Facebook page.
And you jinxed me.
Well, John, why don't you start with your story?
Well, first of all, for those who have a laptop that happens to, probably 90% of the time, it is something in an internal. It's either the monitor, it's power supply. By the way, could be the actual brick that you plug your computer into. Could be the fan has died and it's overheating. There are a bunch of things, but the bottom line is most of the time your data is okay on the hard drive. If you boot up and it says HDD 0 or 1 failure, then you might want to panic. That's when things start getting ugly.
Yeah, we were panicking.
Or you hear this noise. Ready? Ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk. Because that's like the little needle, like trying to move and write and read data. And now you have solid state drives, so you might not even hear that if you have a newer computer. All right. Wait. So what you did to me by throwing this out into the universe is we're 15 minutes from starting the show.
Yeah.
And literally on my new Surface Book Pro thing that I bought, I mean, like months ago.
How new is it? Oh, months ago. You said, all right, go ahead.
Literally only months ago. It's a high end, like top of the line Surface Book, blah, blah, blah.
This is what John does for a living, by the way. He's in computers. Go ahead.
Well, I'm director of communications, but I'm also have IT in my title. So yes, I do. But literally this morning, USB output was not working. So the way I do all these things, like that, just not working at all. Nothing. No output from my computer to the board. And it took me like 5 or 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden it started working again. I have no idea why. I blame Microsoft.
Oh no.
So, but to your point, sometimes stuff like that happens, and you're like, you've got a presentation to do, or you've got a podcast to put on, and all of a sudden, here you go. I'm gonna not work for you today.
I told the greatest wife ever, I said, sweetheart, the love of my life, and the woman that I'm spending the rest of my life with. Yeah, let's get through Heritage Festival. Let's get through Christmas Bash and Christmas Cash for Kids and Christmas. Okay. And in January, you and I are going to sit down and I'm going to teach you how to use Google Docs and put everything on Google Docs.
I have other suggestions for you as well.
Okay. All right.
But basically there's a company called iDrive out there, and I should be throwing out my affiliate code or something so I can make money off of it. But iDrive just runs a backup in the background all the time, every single night.
I'll just subscribe to that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's like $8 or $10 a month or something.
And then you can
restore. Yeah.
Right.
You can. Yeah. So, So like if your computer dies, literally, and this happened to my wife's computer, her business computer, her embroidery business computer, went belly up. And the next day went out to Best Buy, bought her a new computer, brought it back, got it basically set up, installed iDrive, said restore all the files within about an hour or two, right down. Didn't even have to mess with going to Best Buy and having them pull the hard drive or me pull the hard drive or anything. So it all comes down to how important is your data? How important are your pictures? Like, is it worth, $80 a year or whatever to have a complete backup of your computer, any place, anytime?
Right. Right. Exactly.
So I recommend it.
On our Facebook, though, I threw that out there. Let's hear your computer horror stories. Now, Jim, he took it in a different direction, but it's something that you need that failed. He said our freezer in the garage gave us the finger last week.
That's a good way to put it.
It decided randomly to stop working, I think he meant. costing untold dollars and weeks worth of food. Our budget is already in the red.
Oh, sorry.
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah, that is a tough
Rebecca
one.
said, do phone stories count? I dropped my phone right outside my house one morning and it decided not to turn on again. At the time, I lived about 40 minutes from where I worked. So I get there and tell everyone, got lost on my break going to the Verizon store. But when I finally got there,
no GPS.
They were able to order me a new phone that was shipped to me the next day. This was like March 6th of 2020, and I couldn't think of how it could get worse from there. Boy, if I only knew what would happen just a few weeks later.
Exactly. True.
Oh,
hey, at least
Rebecca.
you got the phone then, because you might have run into chip shortages, or something.
Oh, I know. That's crazy.
Yeah. Good.
When she did. Oh, you know what? I had to sort it by most relevant. Let's do the newest. All the newest ones. There you go.
Okay.
Chris said, I work in a school, and during COVID, we were on a Google Meet with my class. My computer decided to crash.
Of course it did.
My teenage son tried to help me, but we ended up having to buy a new one from Amazon. It was an extra added expense we didn't need at the time. Yeah, I know. I had to buy this right after I was out of a job.
Right.
So it was because the computer I worked on was the work computer, and I had to give it back.
Thus, we looked for a deal for
it. It was theirs. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. John had to hook me up, man. We got a good deal, though. And now the greatest wave ever has a much better deal.
Newman.
Teresa says we use QuickBooks with our business, and my computer started acting up. My husband decided he could fix it and ended up erasing everything on my computer. I'm sorry, Teresa. That's not funny, but it's so funny. Here, honey, give me that.
I can fix that thing. Just bring it over here. We don't need to hire the Geek Squad. Wasted money.
Luckily, I had backed up my info earlier that day.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Aren't
good
you a smarty? Aren't you a smarty farty? Stephanie said, in ye old 90s.
Ye old.
Weren't we just talking about this?
That's funny.
OLDE, oldie. Yeah. In the old 90s, we used to send business documents to clients by FedEx instead of just being able to simply email them. We had already sent an important business proposal on its way when we realized that spell check had done us dirty, literally. It had changed about 20 instances of the word warehouse to whorehouse.
Oh, my gosh. It is. Yeah. Oh, my. Oh, my. Hello. Hello.
Oh, that's a good one.
Jennifer says, I think she needs to run a computer backup today. Indeed. By the way, that is another hint too. If your computer starts doing some weird stuff and you start noticing it, like it's not starting up quickly, or there's a hesitation when you go to do something, that's the point to back something up. Agreed. Don't wait.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So, happy ending to the story, but now there's a caveat because we just found out this morning. The Heritage Festival is this Saturday.
Okay.
And we just found out this morning that the National Weather Service is calling for this low system and probably a tropical depression that's going to be coming in. So it's
coming up from our area.
Yeah, come up from you
around where we are and heading north. Here's the forecast from the National Weather Service.
And it's going to rain on Saturday.
Torrents.
So she's like, I feel like everything I'm doing, I got to go through all the motions. I got to finish everything, but I feel like it's futile, because people are going to be pulling out of the parade. You know, bands aren't going to be playing. It's a whole big outdoor. It's a street festival. What it is we shut down Main Street and shut up stages and music and food trucks and all of that stuff. But
is that due to happen Saturday when that rolls in? Maybe I should be looking at the forecast.
Thursday.
Oh crap! Because I have a flight out of DC on
Thursdays when it starts. Thursday when it starts. 70% chance of rain so far today.
Okay.
For Saturday, 70%, and not just like light spitting rain that we could probably get through. It's like a tropical depression, like high winds and rain and just nastiness.
Oh, I see flight delays in my.
And we are a rain or shine event. but it might, I'm like, do we have a rain date? Because we could do a rain date the next week, but I don't know. So that's the issue. Because next week, the week after that starts, everybody likes, how you see the pumpkin spice in August and all that stuff. Around here, Oktoberfest starts like at the beginning of September. So everybody's rolling there. So that's the week after will be September the 30th. So we're going to be in full bore Oktoberfest around here, especially because Frederick was founded by the Germans. Yes. So was Middletown.
Nice.
The Jesserong family. Anyway, Schifferstadt. That's one of the big buildings in Frederick County.
By the way, before we go, I just want to explain. I am 3X Yaglensky because I am so disappointed at Apple for the new iPhone only having a 3X optical zoom on the iPhone Pro instead of going like 10X like Android. So that's just explaining the name in case anybody was wondering.
Here's my question, because I just downloaded the
new iOS,
the iOS 7, which
17.
is whatever, which is pretty good, pretty exciting. But I was reading that whole thing about the bye-bye lightning cord.
That's in the next iteration. Yeah, they went to USB-C because the European Union demanded that they use a.
So forever and a day, I love this. Forever and a day, Apple is like, no, you got to just have to buy Apple products. Period. Right. End of story. No, it's not compatible. You got to buy Apple. No, absolutely not. That cord will not work with this phone. You got to buy Apple. And then Europe said, you know what? Apple lightning cord is outlawed.
Yeah, we're not going to let you sell your phone if you have a lightning.
Forcing Apple to go. All right.
Okay. We'll finally.
We'll change it, I guess.
Yes.
And then if you have all the other, if all you have is a lightning cord, well, we'll sell you a dongle.
Right. Yeah, there are. I'm sure there are, but. Anyway,
keeping up. This is a 13, I think. So I'm good for another 5 years until I buy a new phone. I'm still paying this one off, man. This is.
I hear you.
I know. Then I look, my brother has got he bought some phone at Walmart, and I'm like, how much you pay? Like $45. I'm like, really? And it does everything that mine does.
I'm not quite, but okay. Yeah,
it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
Yeah,
close enough. Are we done? We're done. Okay.
I think we are. Yeah, we're at 12 o'clock, and I have to go back to work. And I'm sure
you got to go, and I gotta get ready to go into.
I got people ringing my doorbell.
My other people are coming to your house.
I gotta go. They're waiting for me.
John, are you in there? You gotta get back to work.
Hello,
John.
Hello.
All right, listen. Next week. On the podcast, I'm trying to get daughter the younger to hang out with us, but
that'd be fun.
It's the middle of her business day, so we might throw that down in the evenings. I wanted to throw that out to you guys too. I'm going to put a poll up whether you want to do the 8 o'clock. I had fun doing the 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we had way more live viewers and way more post viewers for some reason because of that.
Yeah, we might switch to that. I don't know. I'm going to throw that up, throw it out there as a poll and see what happens. Right. Because have a great day. Oh, see, they're all saying goodbye. I'm trying to sign on. Like, all right, we're out of
here. They're dropping off right now.
Holding for the O's, but not against Maestros. That's fine. Jennifer says, no, what, 8? That's 5.
I think she likes the,
That's 5 your time. You can't make it. She can't make it. She made it last time.
You know
what? I'll throw the poll.
We'll throw the poll up. Throw the poll. Do the poll.
Pull it up. All right, listen. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Please be safe. Have a great rest of the week. We will talk to you next week. John Yaglensky, Ron Ross. Love you, mean it. Bicycle.
Bye now.